Shalom. First thing and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakapadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. The witness gospel, brother, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is a lesson through the Spirit. Actually, a brother went into this last week, but kind of wanted to give my take on it as well. It says, I hope public is waking up. Border invasion sparks migrant crimes crisis in major cities. As we know, we've been reporting on this thing week in and week out about these migrants. And you got nationals and migrants, sleeper cells, paid agitators, whatever you want to call it, coming across the border. But what I'm noticing is that Esau Edom is shedding light on the Venezuelans or the ones from Central South America, Mexico, cartel-based gangs. He's focusing more on that instead of the Iranian and the Syrian and the Russian and the Chinese nationals, because those are the ones, the military men of fighting age that Esau was set to deploy to the streets of Babylon when all hell break loose. These little migrant niggas that's breaking in houses and beating people up. That's an agitator, an aggregator, so to speak. Because, a lot of them are coming over here and they're basically fucking over your opportunities because, this guy, governor from New York, or the mayor of New York, talking about releasing 4,000 jobs to these people, which a lot of them that's beating people up, I believe a lot of them are like paid agitators or sleeper cells. They paid to cause chaos because literally they would get detained and then they will release them and, they'll go to another city and do the same thing. But if you catch one of them and you blow them away, then you'll get hit with a first-degree murder, which is unbelievable in my opinion. But we're going to get right to it. And we're just going to get to scriptures, followed by a few videos here. I'm going to actually play all these videos because they're very informative and it's going to pretty much add weight to the lesson. That way, you don't have to hear me rant and talk. But nonetheless, through the Spirit, this is what it is. So it says, Elon Musk expresses hope that the masses are waking up to the migrant invasion facilitated by radicals in the Biden administration, he wrote on X. I hope this public is waking up to this. And one thing you're going to find out about these talking heads, like this guy Elon Musk, okay, he's not for you people or for free speech, but instead he's more like controlled opposition. Because how can a man in one sentence tell you that, oh, well, for free speech, I'm for the benefit of the Constitution, which is all bullshit. But at the same time, this man is basically telling you to get a goddamn neural link in your head, which is the mark of the beast, the MOTB. Those miracles that it talks about in Revelation 13th chapter. How the hell is he against this establishment when he's actually pushing an agenda? Got to ask yourself that and question that. But it says here, we noted earlier this week that a record of 7.3 million illegal aliens have crossed the southwest border under President Biden's watch, and his data was sourced from the U.S. Customs and Borders Protection, which those can be falsified numbers. In fact, it can be way more than that. Okay, in my humble opinion, they've been letting people cross the border for the last 15, 20 years. So, hey, that number is probably double or quadruple by now. Okay, they just decided to shed light on it, but they've been walking people across this border for 15 plus years, man. All right, don't let the masses fool you. But it says over the past few weeks, matter of fact, it says one uncomfortable reality of the invasion is that millions of unvetted folks from third world countries are on U.S. city streets. It says some of these asylum seekers have deep connections with street gangs around the world known for drug smuggling, human trafficking, and killings. Okay, it's the MS-13s, the cartels. They're highly involved in a lot of this trafficking because they're under orders from the CIA. Okay, nothing gets involved and nothing gets trafficked unless the government has some dealings with it, because we found out that a lot of these people, in fact, is trafficked is through government organizations. So don't let Esau fool you and act like he doesn't have a hand in this. These cartel motherfuckers, Esau pay them to go in there and grab the people and then, bam, give it to us. You see? But it says New Yorkers saw firsthand the turmoil caused by some migrants when a 15-year-old undocumented male was charged with shooting a Brazilian tourist in the leg in the center of Times Square. Slovakia. And this is just but a few of the chaos that's going to come here to Babylon the Great. Like it says here, it says over the past few weeks, New York has been overwhelmed by a wave of crimes committed by illegal immigrants. It says the attack on the police in Times Square, the shooting in Manhattan, and a series of thefts in Brooklyn, all of this is the work of illegal immigrants. So what goes on in the third world countries is happening on the streets of New York and every day in borough with no consequences. So basically, eventually, people are going to start taking matters into their own hands because the fact that law enforcement isn't doing anything about it, people are going to start arming themselves. And there you go. That's a form of a civil war right there, because civil war goes into the people clashing against the government and each other for the one of necessities and things like that. That's coming here. OK, that movie Civil War is coming out in April. I believe it's like April, like the second week of April. That movie is supposed to be released on IMAX, which in my opinion looks like it's going to be pretty good. You know, it's worth a check out. But I'm guaranteeing you somewhere in the near future, we may start seeing particular skirmishes and riots and upriots and insurrections among the people due to Esau Edom controlling the narrative and what they call order out of chaos. All right. It says 15-year-old migrant Jesus Alejandro Rivera Figueroa, suspected of shooting a tourist and firing at a police officer during a failed robbery in Times Square, and was arrested by the U.S. Marshals Joint Regional Fugitive Task Force. And it reads here, it says he's also suspected in an armed robbery in the Bronx of January 27 and another incident which shots were fired in Midtown. And guarantee this guy is back out on the streets. Why? Because either he's a paid agitator, he's a sleeper cell set up to do chaos, or he just, you know, it's either one of the two. Because I know when in hell that Esau Edom will hold his peace on any tribes that's committing any crimes instead of blowing them away. So that's some suspect shit behind there, but peep this. All right. So he gets arrested and cries. Let's look at this video.
Another one? I just put my report. Go ahead. You read on me? Yeah. I got a video. Tell me later. I run a video.
You know, and I find it ironic that they come over here and they get away with this shit. Like I said, Esau is reluctant to detain any Jake. Esau shoot Jake first and ask questions later. And it's no different with the Northern Kingdom. So this seems suspect in my humble opinion. But peep this. It says National FOB Vice President Joe Grimaldi joined Newsmax to discuss the recently released body cam video which shows a group of migrants attacking the NPYD officers. Why aren't the cops just flat out killing
a group of migrants in Times Square. Now a total of 7 migrants have been indicted for the brutal attack. 5 of those were arrested previously. 2 more have been indicted, but investigators are still searching for them because they let them out with no cash bail. That is a stunning one. And joining us now is the National Vice President of the Fraternal Order of Police and Houston Police Department, Lieutenant Joe Grimaldi. I'm so happy to have you here. And Joe Grimaldi, first off, this is incredible. When you see these scenes, I want to put back up that footage that we were just showing. It's incredible. This one guy who's sort of the ringmaster, if you will, of the group, started shouting at the cops, resisted arrest, screaming. Then they all start beating up on the other officers. This, to me, sadly epitomizes the lawlessness that's in New York City and the lack of review of who's coming into our country, Joe Grimaldi.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, you know, DA Alvin Bragg is a complete embarrassment. He should resign. I mean, look at this vicious attack that is all caught on camera. And in his infinite wisdom, they let illegals who have no ties to the community whatsoever out on zero bail with just a pinky promise to show up to court. I mean, what idiot does that? And then you wonder why, when they get released, they smugly give the middle finger to the cameras because they know they are not going to be held accountable for their actions. Those suspects are the living embodiment of everything that is wrong with our country right now. They came to our country illegally. They haven't been deported. They continue to get arrested over and over again. They're let back out by rogue DAs and activist judges. So, you know, here's an idea for Alvin Bragg and every other rogue DA. Get off your ass and do your job. Because we police officers, we're out there putting our lives on the line every day to catch these criminals. The least you can do is do your job.
You know, and I find it ironic that Jake is the face of terror right now. I find it ironic, like I said, that they're just shedding light on this incident, you know, but yet they're not speaking on the Iranian nationals, the Syrian nationals. You know, you see, so you got to watch how they spin the narrative, because it's a little bit more behind this than what they're telling you. And now it comes to memorization at 2024. See, and this is how you know it was all set the fuck up. Remember, January 1st, 2024, they enacted the no cash bail law, meaning that you get locked up, basically you can get right out of jail. You know what I'm saying? On what they call a signature bond. In these big cities like Chicago, LA, New York, these big Democrat cities, no cash bail law. So therefore you can steal a car, you can go and beat somebody up or pull a gun on a motherfucker, and you can get out because it's considered a non-lethal crime, so to speak. Just promise to show up back in court, and yet these individuals, they will flee to a different state and do the same thing. And we call that the purge law. Now it's starting to fall in place as to why they enacted that law, because they knew that they was going to bring these people here to do this. Okay, so let's go into the scriptures real quick before we get the other videos, man. This is the book of 2 Timothy 3:1. It says, difficult times will come, but this know also, in the last days perilous times shall come. Perilous goes into evil. It says, for men should be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. Okay, when you go into unholy, that means to be holy means to be separate. But these people are totally engulfed in the rudiments of Babylon the Great. And this is really Esau's chickens coming home to roost, because he spoiled all the other nations. Therefore, the Lord is allowing these other nations to spoil him. Okay, through coming over here and beating up people. You see, because it's all going to work against them at the end of the day. But it says, without natural affection, truce breakers. You know, and when you have a truce with somebody, that's like peace. You know, they lock them up. Hey, you're going to show up to court? Sure, I'll be there. And then what they do, you don't show up, they put a warrant out for your arrest. I think they got like 48 hours to catch your ass. If they don't, then bam, they can adjudicate the warrant. You know what I'm saying? So the crime is getting ready to skyrocket, man. So, hey, a lot of Americans are going to take that into consideration. They're going to start taking matters into their own hands, man. But see, the thing is, when you Americans do some shit, they going to persecute you to the fullest or prosecute you to the fullest extent of the law, because that's how unrighteous Esau is. But then again, according to 2 Esdras 15, it says they should not regard their kings nor their princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their own power. You see? So, hey, things are getting ready to be lit. Like 2024, hey, this is going to be a bloody fucking summer, man. Okay, you can see it in it. Like right now, hey, it's literally February and it's fucking 75 degrees outside. Now, don't get it twisted. We're in a time now that the weather, technically, in the perfect world, the weather will be breaking, but not this fast as soon. I mean, it's a gradual climb. Okay, around this time, you should be seeing maybe lower mid-40s, and then into the first week of March, you may get up to like the 50 mark, and then as March progresses, you should be in the 60s, almost 70s by the end of March, beginning of April. And then the trees will start sprouting. Like right now, I'm looking at some of the trees. It look like some of the trees are sprouting, but it's like a dead sprout, you know. But I'm looking like in my backyard, and these trees are completely dead. But when I'm looking down the street, it looked like something is growing, but it's unnatural. Okay, but regardless, we are in those times. It says here, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of the Most High, man. But the point is, it says perilous times shall come. So we got to be circumspect on how we move out here, brothers. Okay, you see a group of individuals that look off. Hey, you may want to go the other way. You know, avoid a conflict if possible. You know, watch your surroundings. You coming out the crib, hey, watch your surroundings. You coming at home at night, watch your surroundings. You see, if you're going somewhere, if you're going to meet with like a chick that you just met, hey, make sure you give brothers your location so they can know where you at. Okay, don't just be going off the deep end or whatever. and just be going out there on your own accord, because you never know. You know, people real sneaky, man. Bitches are linking up with dudes, and the minute you invite the bitch over, your door is getting kicked in, and you got a group of Jose Cuervos tying your ass up, man, trying to extol you for money. So be careful, brothers, man. You know, keep your head on a spiritual swivel, because it's going to go there real soon. These people, they on edge, and Esau is getting ready to turn the notch up. All right? So anyway, looked at that video. It says, migrants released from jail greeted the press with rude gestures and indication they have no respect for U.S. laws, because they know U.S. laws are a joke anyway. Okay, the U.S. only prosecutes their own. They don't prosecute nobody else. And it says that migrants have been causing more chaos. And like I said, you notice they're shedding light on the Jake-looking migrants. So let's look at this here. How ironic they pulled up to the camera. You remember that scene on the first Purge when the lady from the NFFA, she said that they're sending soldiers disguised as citizens into the island because not enough people were purging. So basically these soldiers were disguised as citizens in gangs, but they were soldiers and they were just creating all types of chaos, man. All right. And it said here, coming soon to your neighborhood, violent migrant immigrants assault NYPD police officers, making an arrest at Randall's Island shelter. Which makes me think that they are set up to do this and the police are in on it, because, hey, when has ever Esau spared Jake or gave Jake the satisfaction of beating up a cop? Okay, they blow Jake away for running a red fucking light. Ain't no way in hell that these guys are beating up these cops and they walking away. Okay, Esau hates the northern kingdom just as much as he hates the southern kingdom. You know how many Issacharites and Ephraimites get blown away by the cops, but they don't publicize it? Okay, they only report maybe 5 to 10% of the shit on the news. They only reporting the 5 to 10% of what of outside of what's really happening. Like if they was to report everything on the news as far as like the riots and the insurrections in this country alone, hey man, you'd be like, what the hell? I never knew this. Like you can have an insurrection going on in your own city right now, but the news ain't covering that because they don't want you to know. You know? But they want to tell you how, what's this nigga's name? The groundhog. What's the nigga's name? Nigga got a name. You know, they want to tell you how the nigga didn't see his shadow this year. I mean, we going to have 6 weeks of a premature spring. It's fucking crazy. But anyway, Ezekiel 7, and I'm going to start at verses, let's start at verses 18. Matter of fact, let's start at verses 15. It says, the sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. And he that is in the field should die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence should devour him. Right, because these events lead into a societal collapse, which a societal collapse lead to blackouts and EMP strikes or cyber attacks, like they're talking about. I believe some other water or some type of plant or somebody got hit with another cyber attack. You know what I'm saying? That throwing it off the line. But once these things starts to commence in totality, what happens is when the grid goes down, then they're going to constitute famine, because you need forms of electricity or to sustain your food. Okay, to preserve your ground beef and your ground turkey, you're going to need a refrigerator or ice box to conserve it. So we have no power, then those things tend to go bad quick. Okay, so people are stocking up on what they call non-perishables. But eventually a famine will hit this city. And when that happens, that's when people really going to lose it. That's when the real killing going to begin. All right, none of this folly that they're showing you on the news. But though This is something to be alarmed about. Okay? But it says here, but they that escape of them should escape and should be on the mountains like doves in the valleys, all of them mourning, everyone for his iniquity. And all hands should be feeble and all knees should be weak as water, right? Because the people are going to want all things. Okay, people are not going to have the bare necessities to survive. Soap, water, toothpaste. You know what I'm saying? All these things that's a necessity for your survival, people are going to be lacking. So they're going to go they're going to go around and they're going to go on a prowl, so to speak. You know, marauders. And it says, and they shall also gird themselves with sackcloth, and horror should cover them, right? Because the death, okay, when people being cannibalized and being ate by other people, there's going to be like some real horror movie type shit. And it says, and shame should be upon all faces and baldness upon their heads, which represents mourning. It says, and they should cast their silver in the streets, and gold should be removed, and their silver and gold should not be able to deliver them in the wrath of the Lord. And this is the Lord's wrath. Okay, the Lord's sending these migrants here and these paid agitators and these military personnel. This is all the Lord getting ready to fan his land. Okay, like the Lord said, I should fill thee with men as caterpillars. And they should raise a shout about round about thee. And that shout is basically them declaring war on this place, you know. But it says, and it reads, and it says, their silver and their gold should not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord. Neither should they satisfy their souls, neither fill their bowels, because it is the stumbling block of their iniquity. So you people are going to die from famine. Okay? You think that these people kicking in doors and holding you hostage, it's going to get real graphic. Okay? It's going to be like it's going to be like we're going to enter like a different time warp on how things are just going to shift. And we're seeing it, but what are the Americans doing? Still partying, paying taxes, going to work, you know, and they're just basically bending over and letting this man do him in unlubed. And they ain't gonna do nothing until it's too late. But hey, better y'all than us. And it reads here, and as for beauty of his ornament, he should set it in majesty. But they made the images of their abominations and their detestable things therein. Therefore I have set it far from them, and I will also give it to the hands of the strangers for a prey, and to the wicked of the earth for a spoil, and they shall pollute it. And right now your world is being polluted. Okay, they're giving them jobs. They're giving them over $10,000 on credit cards to live a life, to breaking your shit, and why they not giving you a damn thing? Okay, $10,000 a fucking month. That's, wow. That's a lot of money, man. $10,000 a month, shit, that's over, what, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. That's $120,000 a year. The average nigga working 9 to 5 ain't making that, man. I think it was up to $10,000 a month, if I'm not mistaken. You know, but the average Jake ain't making that money. The average Jake may make anywhere between 38 and 50 bands a year. You know, if you're lucky, you may get up to the $60,000, $70,000. But $100,000 a year just to fuck shit up. Hey, if I wasn't in the truth, sign me up. Nah, I'm just talking. But in my face also I will also turn them from them, and they should be polluted my secret place. For the robber should enter into and defile it. And the robbers really represents you Edomites. It says, make a chain, for the land is full of bloody crimes, and the city is full of violence. Okay, and wherefore I will bring the worst of the heathen, and they shall possess their houses, and I will make the pomp of the strong to cease, which is their proud, and the holy places should be defiled. Okay, so, hey, the prophets, we've been speaking it, we've been warning, we've been blowing the trumpet. We're going to keep blowing the trumpet until the Lord says enough. And once the prophets are taken off the scene, once we are put up, that's when really things are going to start to happen. Okay, because when we speak these things, they will come to fruition. And sometimes when we speak it, shit happens on the spot. So, hey, if a prophet curse you in the name of the Lord, then, hey, you in big trouble. All right, so keep that in mind, all you scoffers and scorners out there.
Security, surround the cops. Surround the cops. Surround the cops. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Let's go. Grab him, let's go. Grab him, let's go. Grab him, let's go. Grab him, let's go.
Now, if that was a room full of Southern Kingdom, Esau just would have started blasting, man. But it says coming soon to your neighborhood. So, hey, they going to set up shelters right in the midst of these neighborhoods. And you motherfuckers, they going to have a free entry into your house, into your place of business. And before you know it, hey, they're already saying in Boston they want people to start inviting these criminals, well, these people in, you know. But it says New Yorker goes off about the NYC migrant crisis. It says they're not legal. If they were legal, they need to pay taxes. But there's no law against illegal migrants committing crimes. It says it's lawlessness. It is getting bad because they're next to my house and they piss on my door. Meaning that they come and piss on our door. So it's just like, it makes like usually people are somewhat civilized. But it's like they're just literally just doing things that just out of spite. That's why I said that they got to be set up to do this shit, because who the fuck, even if you move to a foreign country, you don't know the land, you don't just go and fuck people's shit up just because. So it makes sense that this is all being organized, man. Okay, listen to what Sally the shrimp eating gook said.
Not legal. If they were legal, they need to pay taxes.
What do you think is going to happen with the migrant crisis here in New York City?
It's getting bad because they're also next to my house and they piss on my door. I could tell that they're gang lords. I mean, they're tattooed up to head to toe. The people pissing on my door, they're tattooed up head to toe. And there's no law against illegal migrants committing crimes. So again, it's lawlessness, non-payment of taxes, siphoning all our money to their native countries. And it's just killing our economy. Eric Adams just said he's going to give 4,000 migrants jobs. That means 4,000 civilians have less jobs. It's just not fair to Americans. It's getting scary. Right now, you know, people in the Bronx are getting attacked. People Upper East Side, 2 of them just got attacked. And it's illegal to buy mace. It's illegal to protect yourself. It's illegal to protect yourself.
Oh, fuck, it's not.
Police are starting to notice a new trend. Recently, they have been busting groups that are stealing large quantities of merchandise, and they say the suspects are in the country illegally. The latest theft unfolded at this Ulta.
And see, like I said, Esau's narrative is shedding light on the Northern Kingdom. That's what it is. He's trying to get Esau. That's why we always say that, man. Esau's going to start this thing off and base it because Jake. Okay, they're making it seem like Jake is the problem. These events seem like they may be spread out some, you know, because you got shit like this that go down every day. But now it's just whatever the news media spreads and whatever they put out there, that's what the mainstream narrative is going to go with, and people going to eat it up. So when they see Jose looking guy or San Juan or whatever the hell you want to call him, they already going to have a strange eye towards him, because in their mindset, this is the guy that's been breaking in and stealing people's shit. When Jose literally just got off work from a goddamn sweatshop, okay, which I'm not justifying these migrants here, because clearly they're set up or to do something that's off, that's wickedness, but at the same time, he likes to paint a picture with the broad brush. And sooner or later, it's going to be you Jakes, because they're going to show them African nationals, them Nigerian-looking Jakes. He may hire a couple of people, you know, from the hoods and do some crazy shit, and before you know it, it's going to be an all-out assault on Jake, man. So you got to be careful how this devil operates. The scriptures say, let Satan should get an advantage of us. We're not ignorant of his devices. Because I remember when that whole George Floyd shit kicked off years ago, and the Black Lives Matter will find out that they was actually putting ads on Craigslist for people to go into cities and to bust windows out with bricks, and they was paying them up to $1,500 to do that shit. Like, I kid you not. So this doesn't surprise me, man. All right. But anyway, it says here, wherefore I read that destruction cometh, and they should seek peace, and there should be none. But it says, but mischief should come upon mischief, and rumor be upon rumor, and they should seek a vision from the prophet, and the law should perish from the priest, and counsel from the ancients, man. Because like I said, when this thing really fully hits, hey, we ain't gonna be around. We're not gonna be in the spirit of prophesying these things to you on the corners. Okay, when things are happening and shit is blowing up and people going batshit crazy, you ain't gonna have the prophets out there in the midst of that teaching. Okay, the famine of the word is gonna be fully convinced, because they had a 4-hour debate yesterday on whether they need to shut down free speech or not. And they're gonna figure out how to sneak that bill in there, even if they have to go through loops and the hoops and kill people. They're gonna figure out how to get that shit in there, man. Okay. Shit. Iniquity. Golly. Iniquity. Yep, Matthew's 24, and I'm going to start at verses 12. It says, "And iniquity should abound, and the love of many shall wax cold." You go into that word iniquity, it goes into lawlessness. Okay?
On February 1st, we've obtained video from inside the store that shows two men walk inside, both with distinct white patches hanging from their back pockets.
Two males come in.
Police say they helped steal $2,000 worth of merchandise. They were identified as Albert Turalba Jordan and Caviar Gilarte Campos, both from Venezuela, and police say both entered the U.S. illegally.
They're taking advantage of, coming to the United States and committing these crimes and being able to disappear to some degree.
West Whiteland Police Detective Scott Pizik has noticed a trend in recent months. He's identified at least 3 of these groups where the suspects crossed the border illegally.
Over the last few months, we've had what we call South American theft groups.
The United States saw a surge of illegal crossings at the U.S. southern border, hitting record highs in December before falling a bit in January. Even though the border is nearly 2,000 miles away, police say it's having an impact here. In June, this man was caught on surveillance at Kohl's in Exton. Police say he stole $17,000 worth of merchandise. The Peruvian national was arrested and deported in the fall, but he's already...
You can hear officers there pleaded for cooperation before being viciously attacked. The suspect caught on body camera video swinging what appears to be a machete. A sergeant was reportedly slashed across the side of his face, and 2 other officers cut on the wrist and shoulder while trying to arrest the man. Then this recent encounter where 7 migrant men were indicted for their alleged roles during this assault on a pair of NYPD officers. An officer and the only suspect currently in custody wrestled to the ground. At that point, you can see the officer take repeat blows to the head. There was a 20% increase in officer injuries from 2021 to 2022, and data for the first 3 quarters of 2023 show it'll be a record-setting year. Paul Morrow, former NYPD inspector, says progressive DAs are not serious about punishing those who hurt officers.
They're operating in tremendously difficult situations. The police have been tasked with a mission for them to carry out within a system that is almost wholesale adversarial to their efforts. The DAs themselves who lead the offices are putting in measures that really hamper the efforts of the police department.
And just last week, Trace, a close call for one officer after the NYPD says
Assaults and robberies. Both are rising now that organized gangs are operating in New York City, and police say there could be hundreds of criminals out there and they have no way of stopping them all.
They walked across the border for a better life, but now they are walking out in handcuffs after police say their American dream was to commit crime.
Police say a gang terrorized New Yorkers, robbing them and then hacking their phones to drain bank accounts of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Surveillance video.
See, now this suspect, how the hell they gonna hack somebody's phone unless they forcefully gave them the passcode? But that sounds like some sleeper cell shit, if you ask me. All right, that's my opinion. It's like Corinthians 2:11. lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. Okay, this is nothing more. Because at the end of the day, even if it really was the case that wasn't the case, Esau bought the motherfuckers over here, man. So now he has to pay up. Okay, because at the end of the day, Yahweh Shem Yahushai is orchestrating this judgment. All right, this is the book of Habakkuk 2, and I'm going to start at verses 6. It says, should not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? And how long? Okay, because the other nations know that Esau, Edom has robbed and pillaged the whole earth. Okay, now let's just say Venezuelans, right? They come up here and they get some get back because you're the reason why Venezuela is seeing fucking 3,000% increase in inflation. Motherfuckers are eating in flamingos and eating out of trash compactors and dumpsters, all because you went down there and you hoarded their resources, which Venezuela is one of the most wealthiest nations in oil. Okay, for real, I believe they're like number 1 or number 2, if I'm not mistaken, in the world. Okay, they are more rich in some cases than the Strait of Hormuz. But you went down there and you set up a central bank and you indebted them people. Now you let them into your country. Now look at it. They taking shit back, dummy. And it says here, and to him that laden himself with thick clay, which that word clay goes into thick debt. And it says, should they not rise up suddenly that should bite thee, and the weight that should vex thee, and thou should be unto booties unto them, which is spoils. It says, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people should spoil thee, because of men's blood, and for violence of the land of the city, and all that dwell therein. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of death that's getting ready to commence here in the streets of Babylon. Okay, you Americans, man, you're getting ready to pay for what you're getting ready to receive. You're getting ready to receive that payback that the Lord has in store for you. Especially you Edomites, you wealthy Edomite family, you what do you call it? Trust fund babies. You know what I'm saying? You Kyles and Alexes and you Joes and you Karens and you know you Mollys and Ashleys and all you fucking white collar devils. You silver spoon devils. Hey, you getting ready to reap, man. You getting ready to pay up. Okay, the Lord's getting ready to get your ass out of here, and you're gonna be born back in the kingdom in slavery. So in many ways, I don't feel bad for your ass getting cracked upside the head and getting your just due, because at the end of the day, you stole the shit from us any goddamn way. You know, but at the same time, brothers, watch out, watch your surroundings. You know, these people know who to attack, man. The Lord got a protection, a shield around us, man. I believe that. You know, but when things get crazy, hey, you want to try to stay out of the midst of this shit if you can. When these cities go up in fire and smoke and the rioting commissions and the crime, hey, we got to move in the shadows, man. You know what I'm saying? We got to move in the shadows. We got to be like the ancient Sakari minus the wicked bullshit that them niggas be on. Because them niggas, they operated in the shadows, man. You know what I'm saying? And sincerely, we got to be like in the shadows when this shit go down, because you don't want to get caught in the midst of it. Okay, but you're going to have stupid Israelites out there. They're going to go out there and they're going to try to lock horns with this devil, and they're going to get steamrolled. You know, because, hey, they didn't pay attention to the warnings. Niggas want to go out there and be gung-ho and Rambo. Hey, okay, go ahead. Have at it. But it says here, woe to him that covenant evil covenants to his house, that he may sit his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil, right? Because Esau Edom thinks going in his bunkers and his space stations, and, you know, he think his military might is going to save him from the Lord, what the Lord has in store. But Yahweh Shem Yahushai got you right in the crosshairs, bro. All right. So anyway, let's go a little bit more, man. Got a couple more videos.
Video shows the moment two masked men broke into the back of a Bronx bodega, walked up to the register, and made off with $100,000 cash.
I think all the crime is getting worse right now. I mean, especially with the bikes and the mopeds and the scooters, everyone's riding around.
Police say this is one part of one migrant gang, and there are others.
According to the police commissioner, the city is in the middle of a crime wave. And it's gang-related. Now, although some of the gangs are made up apparently of asylum seekers, what nobody's talking about is there's other high-profile gang-related activity being orchestrated by gangs of New Yorkers as well. We're talking everything from cell phone theft to pickpocketing. A crime spree involving bodegas has seen certain businesses lifted for over $100,000. And the next time you're out at a bar and someone attractive approaches you and talks to you, they could be targeting you for some crimes that are so heinous, it makes me think it's probably not even safe to go out at night here. On top of that, some of the asylum seekers who've been caught up in this may have been exploited by gang leaders the police are now looking for. But before we get into why this is happening and how much damage is being done to the city, it's important to understand that many of the criminals who have been caught have already been controversially released without bail. So they're still out there somewhere for some reason. But what's alarming is that when last year ended, overall levels of crime in the city were down. There was a 12% decrease in extremely violent types of crime, but the reduced crime trend has reversed. And what most people don't know is that since 2019, overall crime in the city is up 32%, which means 1 out of every 3 New Yorkers are now more likely to be involved in some sort of incident. And the types of incidents happening now are unlike anything I've ever seen.
See? 33%. Shit. This is the high-speed chase one. I'm not going to play these, but basically they went on a GTA, they Grand Theft Auto shit, man. All right, you can look it up if you want to find it. Let's go to here, the book of Isaiah 19, then we'll end it. Isaiah 19, and I'm going to start at verses 1. It says, the burden of Egypt, behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and he should come into Egypt. And the idols of Egypt should be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt should melt in the midst of it, right? These peoples are going to lose hope, okay? People are going to lose hope in their government. And it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. And the spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof. And they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians I will give over into the hands of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, says the Lord and the Lord of hosts. So we're in them times, brothers, man. You know, just keep your head on a swivel. You know, stay prayed up, man, and ask the Lord to shield us from this coming destruction, because it's going to get pretty bad real quick. Okay. Start at verses 17. It says, and the land of Judah should be a terror unto Egypt, and one that maketh mention there should be afraid in himself, because of the counsel of the Lord's hope which he's shaken over it, man. Okay. And it says here, in that day shall 5 cities of the land of Egypt speak the language of Canaan, which is Hebrew, and swear to the Lord of hosts, one should be called the city of destruction. So this place is gonna get fucking hit. This place is gonna get wiped out at the end of the day. This is just the cataclysm building up to the ultimate final. Okay, but eventually this place is gonna get taken out. And you know what? Good riddance, man. The sooner the Lord takes this place out, the better it is for the elect. Okay, but anyway, all praises and glory and honor is due to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash. Hey, I want to give double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. And with that, Lord's will you edify into the